I say you mentioned earlier on about the sort of the goals going in against you. I mean, we've got your save percentages down here. I mean, last year in Fort Wayne you were 91%, and this year you were 89%, which for a netminder coming into the British League is actually a good percentage for an elite league netminder. Did this play on your mind at all during this period where you're being told you must up your average, or was it just a case of this is what's in front of me, I've got to live with it?
That's one of the things that kind of eats at you a little bit. As a goalie, you never try to watch your numbers too much, but you don't want them to slip too far, and you always you take a peek at them once in a while. I'm not one of those guys that is kind of watching the shot clock or getting worried about this or worried about that, but it's really tough when you start getting emails from your agent, in January and in February. Hey, your numbers are slipping. If you want to play in Italy next year, if you want to play here, you want to play there, it's got to be, you got to be a 3-something goals against and over a 9 save percentage, and then that starts to where it keeps slipping, you're giving up more and more, and it is tough to sleep at night, and numbers. You're hopefully the coaches, other places, they won't just look at their numbers. You're hoping that they call their coaches in the league or players and say, hey, can this kid really play? And that's what you do. You just try to go out and play well and give people a good impression of you, and lead by example and let everyone know that you're doing your best to with the cards you're dealt. And this year it was just dealt nothing but low cards, that's for sure.
I mean, there wasn't many players in front of you, and there was certainly shortage in the team. Did you become frustrated with the number of shots you were facing week in, week out? Were you facing more shots than you had done last year, or less shots? And
not only the number of shots, just quality. We gave up. It doesn't really matter who's in there. It could be Patrick Wan some nights if you're going to give up 15 chances from the house area. Or, goalies will call it the ladies' tee. The guy's going to take a slapper from 10, 12, 15 feet out. It's either going to hit you or it's going to go in. I mean, it's tough to. We couldn't get guys to buy into the system for whatever reason. Our penalty kill was embarrassing. We took a lot of stupid penalties, which didn't help. But a lot of times your goaltender's got to be your best penalty killer. So you could point the finger this way at that one for what as well. But players wise, with the lineup we had, I thought maybe it's just a little bit of a lack of effort, if not that cohesiveness. Like I said, going through so many players, you only get better with guys as you play with them longer. You know where they're going to be and who you can trust and where they're going to be at or whatever. So, there's a mixture of things that led to, being the worst team in the league. But, I think just from a player standpoint or a goaltender standpoint, you just got to play with what you're dealt, try to talk as much as you can, help each other out, and hopefully, the bounces go your way that night.
Well, one of those nights you faced an incredible amount of shots was obviously up in Coventry when you faced 61 shots. I mean, the clip was one of the highest ranked on YouTube of you making all these save after save after save. And as you said, Paul Thompson hailed your performance as the best netminding performance he'd ever seen. And he's been in the British game for so many years now. I mean, what are your memories of that night in Coventry?
Yeah, obviously his comments, when you need a little confidence every once in a while, I click on that YouTube link and just to see your comments from friends back home. I don't, they end up getting it somehow. And it's just one of those nights. Any goalie has them every once in a while. You wish I had a few more of them this year, but just things, nothing can really go wrong for you. Everything seems to go right. You don't see a puck through a screen, it hits you. You just get a piece of it, a couple hit off the knob of your stick, or I think they missed a couple empty nets, some empty nets, and defense blocked a heck of a lot of shots and didn't give them a lot of second chances. I think, take it for what it's worth, 60 shots, but still, when you're holding guys to the outside or, you're doing a good job in front or clearing guys out in front. I'm a smaller guy, so I struggle to see some shots from the point. And, I think all in all, it just, you go back to that reference, I just blacked out there. But, the games went by pretty quick. I thought I made some timely stops, and we came up with some timely goals. That was the thing. We got the lead, and we got the lead back during that stretch of the season we were playing. I thought we were a good hockey team. We had confidence. And, they're going into Coventry. It's always a tough rink to win in, but that was definitely a night I'll remember for a long time. And when that final buzzer rang and I heard 60-some shots, it was, I didn't think I had that many, but it's definitely just fun to get a win.
I've got to talk to you about another game and sort of these penalty shootouts that you faced. I mean, the scenes that we remember from the year of the team running out to celebrate with you when you're making those penalty saves, the vital points that the teams were getting. Yeah. What does it do for a netminder like yourself when the whole team rushes towards you to come congratulate winning a game?
That's when it comes to penalties, it's always tough on a goaltender. It's a one-on-one, and you can be the hero or the zero pretty quick. When you go out there, when it depends on if you shoot first or they shoot first, but it's always tougher for me, I think, when the other team gets a second chance, because say you're up 1 goal right now and you got to make this next stop, and you like that kind of I guess you could say pressure, but when you make that stop to see the guys already half jumping the bench, but it's easier for a goalie obviously when you have the last shot and you go down and you score. It's always fun to skate down the ice and congratulate the guys. But it's fun to watch the guys. Some guys will skate down after the guy who scores the goal, and some guys will skate towards the goalie. So your better friends are and whatever. But it's a tough part of the game for a goalie. But I think the fans, you got to see a win. You can't see a tie every night. And I don't know, with football here, when you go watch a football game 0-0, 1-1, or 2-2, it's got to come down to penalty. The fans pay all that money, they come all the way. You got to see a winner. So it's tough for goalies, but the fans and the people that are paying your wage, it's good for them to see.
Well, unfortunately, Christmas didn't bring the happiest of times. You talked about this period where the side were winning 10, losing 10, and you were injured in the match up in Scotland against Edinburgh. I mean, let's ask for your memories first of all of that night.
I thought it was a big game for us. We just beat Hull, came back from Christmas break. We had 4 or 5 days off, and the guys were refreshed. I felt better. I'm, ready to go. We had a good win against Hull on the 27th. A couple of days off. We knew we were going to have a couple of days off for New Year's. We had a big New Year's shindig planned, and it was 2-2. I think 10 minutes ago in the third, we were playing really well. I thought I was playing well. A shot here, a shot there can go either way, and just an unfortunate. A guy came across the blue line, took a shot, and I made a save. I turned, looked towards the corner, watching the rebound, and somebody got pushed on top of me, and I just felt something pop in my ankle. And originally I thought, it's just maybe something a little stretched out too far or whatever. When I went to get up, it felt, my foot felt like a wet noodle. So it was tough to swallow. I'm in the locker room, laid up. Doctors are looking at my leg, and I hear the buzzer go off. They score 3-2. I'm hoping, we can at least get a point out of there, because I think we were in 7th or 8th at the time, tied with them. We were pretty close with Hull. Or maybe, we were in 8th, tied with Hull, and Edinburgh, we were all pretty close. To lose that game and to get the news I might be out 6 or 8 weeks, it was definitely tough for the team.
Is it annoying for you in a situation like that to get an injury like that? You're saying that the team were there, you're all tied on 8th, and you're obviously your eyes were set on the playoffs by this point. And how annoying is it for you then to think, I can't be a part of this push towards the playoffs?
That's one of the biggest things for a goalie, especially in this league. The backup. There's, it's always a local kid. I felt bad for Graham Bird. They really didn't give him a chance there, but we called up some pretty good young players that came in and I thought did a great job for us. I don't know if it was just the confidence we had in them, or they were still giving up a lot of quality chances every night. I think it was tough for me just not being able to be around the guys for that. You take the bus trip with them, or you come to the rink, and I would go over to the gym and do some rehab exercises. But being on the ice is having the fun, playing the games. You miss that. You come to miss that pretty quick. And as you see the results keep getting worse and worse and worse, that things are slipping away. And you try to force it, and maybe I came back a little too early. But, I got the summer to recoup, get stronger, and only be better for this coming year.
How do you think? How did you keep involved with the side during this time when you were injured? Were you on the bench? Were you around the boys every day, or were you just dealing with your own issues?
I'd go on the bench for the games, take a couple road trips here or there with, the closer trips. Obviously, go into the rink for practice, try to have fun with the guys before the practice or whatever. Then I'd be on my own. I'd go over to the gym and do a few things. Even started swimming and just trying to stay flexible, doing a lot of stretching. But you come back in the rink and the practice is over and guys are just getting in the shower, doing whatever, and go their separate ways. So you lose chemistry with a few guys here or there, which is tough because that's your family when you're over here. The 20 guys you have in the locker room, they're like all your brothers and your family, and go to battle with them every Saturday and Sunday. And you kind of feel like you put to the side, or not put to the side, but you can't really do anything to help their cause. So it is definitely it's a tough injury. You want to come back. You're hoping every night that you wake up tomorrow, it feels like 100%. But on the other hand, you don't want to push things and hurt yourself later in life.